I remember when I got my first 3D printer, the Elegoo Mars 1. I was so scared of breaking that thing. I have made so many mistakes printing since then, and here are some of the mistakes you might be making as well. Having way too high burn-in times. Are your prints stuck to the build plate like they're holding on for dear life? If so, you are actually not alone. A lot of people get the tip and start to increase their burn-in exposure time by a ton. If you do that, the prints will stick, but they will stick way too well. You need to get them off again, right? You will end up grabbing your metal scraper, applying too much force when getting the models out. And when applying force, you can break your model, you can cut your fingers, you can scratch the build plate, or you can throw off the alignment, so you need to re-level it. Some people try modding their build plate with a flex plate, but that often causes new problems and I don't recommend it. Instead, just lower your burn-in layer exposure time a tiny bit by bit. You want the prints to come off easily but still stick well enough to avoid any failures. It's best to have different burn-in settings for small, medium and large prints. Mistake number 2 is using bad plastic scrapers. A lot of the gear that comes with your Resin 3D printer isn't worth keeping really. The cheap USB stick corrupts easily and can ruin prints. The flimsy mask won't protect you from resin bugs or the fumes really. Wear proper protective gear. But the worst are the included plastic scrapers. They aren't sharp enough at all. Instead, get a small plastic scraper with a replaceable razor blade. It will slide under your print and you can get it out no problemo. This way you're not damaging the model, the build plate or yourself. And when the blade is damaged or gunked up, you simply just swap it out. It's amazing. If something is really stuck to the build plate, gently apply some heat and use a metal scraper, but be careful. But with the right print settings though, a plastic scraper is all you will usually need. And speaking of settings, mistake number 3 is using stock settings or community settings. What even are good settings? And what do I mean when I say good settings? No, I don't mean the Lightroom profile that has plus 1000 users. Stock settings and public settings are often overexposing your models, blurring the details, and the settings don't have enough wait time for the print to settle and the resin to settle, and sometimes they run too fast really. You want your prints to succeed every time, and stock settings won't do that for you. To get consistent results, you need to calibrate your own machine with your specific resin and the temperature you have. Lots of people test or calibrate their printer in different ways. A lot of tests can be a bit confusing for beginners, so starting out I say go with the cones of calibration from Table Flip Foundry. It has the exact features you actually need and it doesn't require guesswork or calibers. Mistake number 4 is not checking the VAT before or after printing. Checking the VAT before you print, especially if the print before had any fails or defects. Even a tiny chunk of cured resin can damage the FEP at the bottom. A tiny dent will quickly turn into a tear, resin will leak down onto the screen and maybe into your printer. A dead screen is costly to replace, not to mention a pain in the butt. Remember, you have to mix your resin anyway because it's likely separated when you get to your printer. For that, I think you need to use a soft silicone spatula or something similar and gently just feel the bottom of the vat while you're getting that resin mixed. If something feels off, you know you need to clean, so stop. After you're done printing, check your vat just to be safe. It's best to make sure the printer is ready to print again so you don't make a stupid mistake when you get back to it. Removing your vat with the build plate still attached. Before you remove and empty your vat, always take off the build plate first. It can have liquid resin on it that can drip down on your screen. Think of the vat as a shield protecting your printer screen. Every time you take it out, there's a chance you might harm the screen in some way as it is now exposed. That's why some people level their build plate even with the vat in and liquid resin in it. And if you do take the vat out, remember to screw it in again. That flying vat situation, it's a dreadful sight as a beginner. Mistake number 6, emptying the vat, then you don't have to. You might think you have to empty your vat every time you have a failed print and you need to remove some cured resin in it. But Thankfully, that's not always true. Almost all printers now have a tank clean feature that cures a thin layer of resin at the bottom of the vat. The debris or cured resin will sink down to the bottom, and that will be cured onto the sheet so you can peel it off in one go. It saves time and it keeps the vat on top of the screen, protecting it. But that cured sheet, it can actually be really hard to get out if you use your fingers or your tools. And if you try to do that, you might end up damaging the FEP, the thing we are trying to avoid damaging by cleaning it right now. What a lot of people say is to use a leftover support as a handle to get the sheet out. I found that method to not work super well. Instead, I think the paper method works very well. Simply bend a piece of paper, put it down at the bottom of the vat, and that will cure as part of the resin sheet, and you can easily get it out. Mistake number 7 is scraping your FEP with anything at all, really. Remember those fancy plastic scrapers you just bought? Well, they don't get along with your vat. If you actually need to empty your vat to see if anything's wrong with the FEP, you need something to help get that slow flowing resin out. Here, just use the silicone spatula. It's gentle enough for the FEP, but still be careful you don't damage it in any way. When you do put the vat in, make sure to screw it in, but also make sure you don't have anything underneath the vat that might damage your screen or the tape. If you see black tape bubbling up, it might be because you had something on it. Just change the tape with some electrical black tape. Number 8 is cutting supports like it was 2020. In the early days of resin printing, people removed supports with snippers, clipping them off. Yeah, that really sounds like the medieval times, right? But that's what people did. But if you calibrate your machine, the supports should pop off with very little effort just by using your hands and fingers. If they don't, the supports might be badly made, or you may have overexposed the print a lot. Not only will the supports be hard to get off, but they will scar your model much more, leaving it less pretty. If you still find supports hard to remove, try warming the supports slightly to make the resin more flexible. If you wash with water, warm water is a great idea and a very good solution. It makes supports super easy to get off. Mistake number 9, throwing out water that's contaminated. Speaking of water, you should wash your prints in it. Yeah, I'm dead serious. Most washer-waterable resins are crap, I know, but there are some that are amazing, and washing with water is the best. But if you use warm water to help remove supports, or you wash with water, what do you do with the water when you're done? No, don't pour it down the drain like some resin brands might tell you to do. Instead, leave the water outside in a safe spot where the sun can cure the leftover resin and the water can slowly evaporate. It takes time, so a big surface area, heat and wind can help you out here, speeding up the process. Getting too many printing files. When you're waiting for a print to finish, it's easy to jump online, check out Patreon, or browse that My Manufactory tribes. Oh, I see some new files. Getting fresh models to print can be exciting. Getting new models to print can be really exciting, and it is one of the best parts of having a home printer. But watch out for the FOMO. Sure, subscribing now to a tribe might be much cheaper than buying the files later, but what's the point of buying them if you're never gonna print them? Try to keep your digital collection manageable and print what you really need and love. You might feel like you need to keep your printer running just because you can, but ask yourself why? Oh, and if you decide not to buy stuff on My Manufactory so you don't have things in the cloud, decide on a way to store and browse your files before you amass, say, 1 terabyte of files like I did. Number 11, using cheap brittle resin. Brittle resin can ruin your printing experience. I'm serious here. It breaks way too easily when you're removing prints from the build plate. It's fragile when you handle it. When you're taking off support, you might damage your model. It's just ugh. And all of this makes painting and playing with the miniatures frustrating. I always think about my friends that need to handle my minis at the table. Those miniatures, they need to handle some tough love. I urge you to take some time and explore stronger, more durable resins. Yeah, they cost more, but the peace of mind knowing that your miniatures will be around for much longer, it's well worth it. You can also experiment by mixing different resins together. So mixing a cheap resin together with a very durable resin. And a bonus tip, you can feel like a real chemist.
The plan is we cook.
Mistake number 12, not having a suitable space for printing resin. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is buying a resin printer without having the space to print in. Most people don't have an ideal setup right from the start. That's okay as long as you figure things out. Oh, and do tell your significant other before getting into resin printing. They might not approve. In general, I would say no printing in the bedroom or in the kitchen. And think about the fumes and smell. It seeps and it gets into places. For printing, you need a space that has good airflow, but also stays at a steady high temperature. Then you want to have low direct sunlight on your printer or your cleaning station. It shouldn't be a place where people hang out. The vogs are unhealthy, the smell is awful, and the printer is not silent at all. And no kids or pets. Ideally, it's a place where you can leave your tools out, as packing and unpacking them will get annoying. Yes, resin printing and cleaning can be complex, but it doesn't really have to be. If you feel overwhelmed, you can get my course for beginners who want to master printing miniatures. I will help you along on all parts of your resin printing journey, and you will save time and money in the end. Or you can watch this video on how I would start printing miniatures if I started today.